Excellent. Well, so this is the Funkast. It's a community podcast bringing in everybody that I can that is willing to talk and help me release a cultural stigma in this space, the cannabis space. And while I know it's not everybody's main focus in life, and everybody has other things that they do and are passionate about, I wouldn't have even come across you unless you were a little bit passionate about this as well. So while I do like to talk about that cannabis space and releasing that stigma in one way or another, I also want to touch on the person that I'm talking to as well, and really try to understand what they're doing and what drives them, you know, sort of showing everybody that every person is sort of the same in the aspect of it's not everybody's everyday life. They have other things going on. They're real people. They're not just sitting here all day, red-eyed, you know, watching cartoons, eating candy. So,
although we wish we could.
yeah, right. You know, as I said it, I was like, oh, that sounds like a good day.
That sounds like a great day.
You know, but just saying that I wish we could, you know, it paints that picture. It solidifies it, you know. Everybody's thinking the same thing. It's life. We have to live it. We've got to do these things. Why can't we enjoy something like this on the side as well? So I'd like to start in with you, really, and get the I want to make sure I say your name, Jano, right?
Jano.
Jano. Okay, Jano. That's your, where is your origin?
So I was born in the South Caribbean island nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay.
It's like one of the most southern countries in the Caribbean. Close to, most people would know, maybe Trinidad, close to Venezuela, down in that hot part of the place. Funny, quick little note so people know. St. Vincent is known for growing some of the best cannabis in the Caribbean because our island chain, it's an archipelago, and it is made up of a volcanic chain. And so volcanic soil is some of the richest soil that you can get. And so Vincentian cannabis is one of the most amazing things to enjoy. Although, funny enough, I didn't start smoking until I got here because I came in when I was 8. So, like,
right, yeah,
that really was not something I got to enjoy as much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you there. So what really got you like started in this space? Was it really like just growing up and it's something that you enjoyed, or was there like a trigger slash driver that really pushed you in that direction? I mean, or like you're a personable person, you're outgoing, so I mean, it might have just been that, but
it's a culmination of a lot of things. It's a culmination of my discovery of cannabis, because funny enough, the first time I smoked cannabis, I didn't want to smoke cannabis. I was like, oh, everybody smokes weed. I don't want to do that. I want to do something fun. And then one of my friends told me about shrooms, and I was like, oh, that sounds like living in a cartoon. Oh, it was not. Like living in a cartoon, it was not. And then I had weed, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go smoke that weed instead.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay doing
and
that.
Like, it really just like opened my eyes to the understanding of the plant, and like just like the enjoyment of like what it brings, both in like personally, just like how I feel with it, and communally, because one of the favorite things I do, like, this brings us together. Like, one of my favorite things about just being alive and existing in this space is being able to just constantly share cannabis and ideas with people. And like, that's what brings us together. And so that was one of my like motivating factors of always having, not just being a passive like cannabis smoker, but always being active, whether it is just in the talking about it or in the like being about it, combined with the fact that like I got into music and I got into business at the same time, right in college, and kind of combined the two into the music business. And really found my entrepreneurship and my love for helping people in business and helping people by like learning the laws and learning how, like, you know, like we grow up learning that, you know, money is one thing for us, and for a regular person, you know, money means bills and this and
Right.
that. It's real tangible. And then there's people like spending millions of dollars on nonsense because it'll make a 1% profit. Like, you know?
Right.
And so like I got caught into that, and like just opening my eyes to like how things happen in the real world, and being like, I want to teach this. I want to be an educator. I want to be somebody that passes this on, whether it is through the music industry and helping artists, whether it is through small businesses. And then like all of that culminating around like doing that, and then getting into live shows and getting into like finding my own charisma, because I've always been like a hip hop freestyle rapper, loving that kind of energy in the flow. But like I didn't have the confidence for it. I like the
Gotcha.
energy of it, but like it took me a while to develop the confidence and develop like who I am through it. Which is funny because like King Cosmic is my stage name. Um, but I really got that name because um, I got Cosmic from a video game.
Okay.
Like there's this video game called NBA Streets Volume 2, and like when you make your player and you do some stuff, like you earn a nickname, and like I like dunking in the game, and I was like, it was like, you go fly high, Cosmic. And I was like, that's it. That's it right there. And so, like, growing up as a rapper, everybody had the hard names. And so I was like, Young Killer Cosmic. And I'm like, but I'm not killing nobody. Like, I'm not.
Right.
And so I switched it from Killer Cosmic to King Cosmic. And then at a certain point, I dropped the Young and really just, like, grew into that. Because it wasn't just like, well, I want to put on this crown because I'm the shit. It's like, I want to lead. I want to, like, wear this crown and earn people's respect, that when you come to my show, when you see me on that stage, you're not like, oh, there's some phony. You're like, oh, that man he's about what he's saying.
Right.
And so like just like chasing that energy, and just like the cannabis industry has always been the space, one of the spaces for me where like the energy I put out, it reciprocates and it comes back to me. And like just being able to really just jump into it, because then in 2019 I started my first run in cannabis. I started first. I threw because I was doing events. I was doing little underground concerts. Wanted to get into the festival space. Funny enough that we're here now.
Right.
Really, just like I was doing underground concerts, underground concert series, which was the brand that I had for a while, for like 6 years or 7 years. And I need to level up. I need to get to the next space. And Rolling Loud, a music festival, was having their first music festival in New York. And I was like, yo, imagine if I do a sesh the night before Rolling Loud for people that's coming to New York for the festival. And I was like, nobody's doing that. Like, I'm the biggest kind of like, especially in the cannabis space, like, people are big about protecting their space and their territory and their drugs. And, you know, I'm just like, I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I don't want nobody to feel like me getting in the game is, you know, upsetting anyone's
Right.
balance. So I wanted to enter in a whole different space. And I got into doing that, and just like, I just did it like on a, you know, seen an opportunity, take advantage of opportunity. But then I hosted that night. I had performers, and I really made it into an event. And everybody had such a good time that all the vendors were like, yo, when are we going to do the next one? And I'm like, I didn't, there was not a next one. Like, I was just doing this for the love. But it's like, nah, bro, you're doing something that's sorely missed out here. And so again, I didn't want to get into that space of just like, you know, stepping on the, especially in New York City, like, you know, there's so many established people
Yeah.
that's already in the gray market that already paved the way, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I created this brand called Cannabis, which is a cannabis lifestyle brand for women, to highlight that women, like the cannabis plant is female. Like that's what we smoke. But yeah, like the industry's so male dominated, you know, and like I wanted to give a space to target like these women who also enjoy cannabis, who are a big proponent of like the male gaze, but like won't get any recognition for it. So like, why not flip it on its head and turn the brand into celebrating them and into connecting them? And like I did that for a while, and that really opened up the doors for me to get into yeah, all of the cannabis space in New York. I mean, because like, who's not gonna like a guy showing up with a whole bunch of pretty women who love cannabis?
Right.
Like, so
Yeah.
then that opened up a bunch of doors, and I really like use that because I'm big on networking. I'm big on like leverage. That is like my biggest thing. Like, use what you have to get what you need. Like, even if you got 1 cent, use what you got to get what you need.
Right.
And so I really leveraged the Cannabis brand to like really try to get like somewhere in the industry, and that connected me with then Las Vegas Cannabis Awards, and now it's just the Cannabis Awards Music Festival because we do in New York, Las Vegas, New York, Nevada, Arizona, Oklahoma, and California. 5 shows. And through connecting with them and then the travel stuff, because like on the side, you know, as I said, I'm all about connecting people and all about stuff. And I learned about the travel industry and just like wanted to combine the love of it all, the people, the travel, the cannabis, all of the space. And I just saw a niche to like be able to try to bring it all together. And the Cannabis Awards was like, I see what you're doing. Come over here and do it with us. And so I got a chance to be the director of travel and tourism, being able to help them book all of the hotels and all of the travel stuff, and bring a soy-lifted need to the team that they had. And it was through that I got with Slacktivists and my guys up there, and that's how I ended up at the Homegrows competition. And like,
that's cool,
really, like, that's why I love this cannabis industry so much, because like, yeah, New York State pisses me the fuck off. Yes, federal guidelines pisses me the fuck off. Yes, like, it is wild that like when I started smoking weed, like, you really had to go through the most to try to just smoke a joint, and now like they're letting Tom, Dick, and Harry, who has nothing to do with cannabis, get 7 licenses. No, I don't want any of that. But at the same time, this is a beautiful moment in history. Like, this is a beautiful moment that we get to stand outside in the sun and enjoy cannabis and enjoy a burgeoning market and enjoy a community that's finally be able to step out from in the shadows and finally have to shed all of that, looking over my shoulder, and really get to, like, you know, really connect with people over the plant. Yeah, oh my God. I remember one of my first blunts, this is how I knew I was a nice roller. I had to learn how to roll a joint in a fucking hurricane under an umbrella, because we ain't had nowhere to smoke. We ain't had nowhere to smoke.
Yeah, no, it was rough. It was rough. I mean, we have back roads up here, but down in the city, yeah, that's rough. So when you work with them, you handle all of their travel and what have you. Is that something that your agency does, you know, like tailored events, like we'll offer this getaway, the whole experience, or is it just like a strict travel agency and you might be there type thing?
Kind of both. Like, it really depends on how things go. I went from doing as much as like designing the pre-parties or the after parties or helping with that, to just as simple as like, hey, you know, we have 30 people that need to come in. What are the best options? Like, I'm really very flexible on how I assist the team, depending on what show it needs. Like, for New York, it's different because it's New York and they're based in the West Coast, so I'm a lot more hands-on here. But like, whatever it is they really need me to do, I'm just that. I mean, that's always the kind of person I've been. Like, oh, word, we doing this. Let me put my mind to it and figure out how the fuck we're getting it done.
Well, yeah. Like, what is your favorite type of event or like event to host? You know, do you prefer something out on the West, or do you prefer something out here that you can get a little bit more hands-on? Let's say more readily available.
Well. Now, I mean, I've gotten to host not one but 2 cannabis music festivals, both the Cannabis Awards Music Festival last year, technically 3, but the other one I don't really count too much. And but like, that's what I wanted to do this whole time, was host music festivals. Like, and so like to be able to get up there in front of a crowd and like just be able to like be the conduit for the energy for the night, and like just be able to bring people together. That's really my favorite. Like, just get on the stage and just be me. And that's really what, like, I really did love my favorite one to host so far was the New York Homegrown competition. Like, just to be up on that stage, just like to just be as free as I could be. Cause like, you know, every event is different, and like, the other one, it was also amazing. Like, I also won Best Cannabis Brand Ambassador and other things. I got to host. I got to rap at a festival for the first time ever. I got to have other people on stage. Like it was great, but like I had a lot more to do at that festival,
Right.
and so like it was like the best accomplishment that I have. Like that, like I really feel. But like homegirls competition, just I was just free to host. You know, I was just free to just be me on stage, and it was I couldn't have asked for a better like
No, it's like
moment.
untapped out here, so it still feels sort of small out here. You know, it's
Yeah.
big for what we experience around here, no doubt, but
Uh-huh.
we don't even have, let's say, maybe 3 dispensaries or anything, you know, any exposure in, you
Hmm.
know, 4 cities in this area. So
Yeah.
it's kind of still it's like the Wild West, for a lack of a
Uh-huh.
better a term. So when you come out here, I like watching you walk around. I could tell you were having a great time. You know, going vendor to vendor to vendor. You threw a couple dollars in the raffle for the humidifier that
Yeah.
I had going on. You didn't win though. You
Yes,
didn't
yes,
win.
yes.
I was gonna. I think I
Nah,
ran the
whoever
ticket
got
up
that,
to
they
you.
was lucky.
What's that?
So whoever got luck, whoever won that, they're a good person,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. No, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So what's your favorite type of thing to see at an event? You know, is it the like the opportunity for multiple bands to be up there, or multiple rappers, multiple, you know, lyricists to be up there doing their thing, or is it more of a like an awards type show that you would like prefer to be at?
Um, yeah, that's a hard one. I really can't. I don't know how to choose between the two because, like, on the one hand, the music lover in me loves being the conduit for a
Right.
festival. Like, you know, getting the bands up, getting your favorite artists up there, introducing them, hyping them up. That is like what I've been dreaming of since I went to my first festival. You know, as a person in the crowd, was like, yo, this is crazy. I would love to be that guy, you know. But like also, especially in the space we are, being able to celebrate cannabis,
Yeah.
being able to be the person to help conduit, like celebrate all of the achievements that's happening in cannabis is a very special place for me. It really makes me feel that like everything I'm doing is for a reason, you know, and it really does like highlight all of the good that is breaking the stigma. You know,
Right.
like
Absolutely.
even if you want to be like, oh yeah, we're all potheads, like we are working really hard at like growing some of the best cannabis plants, the best botanists and
Yeah.
herbologists in the world because we are studying this amazing plant. Like even if you don't say nothing else, you cannot take that away from the cannabis community. Like yes, there are people out there, yeah, I'm smoking the good shit, but like, fuck that. We
Constant
celebrating the
learning.
people that's really doing it, you know? Like,
I mean, if this was like computer programming or plumbing or something, you'd have like your master. You'd be a master at it. You know, it's the
uh-huh.
it. Eventually, you could probably see it as a service. You know, I mean, it's only a matter of time. You know, craft breweries are
Oh,
out everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
just got to be
It
easier
already
to
exists in
obtain
other
that.
markets.
Yeah, it's
It already exists. Like, I think when I did the Cannabis Awards Music Festival, um, my co-host Redman, he was talking about how he took a class. Like he's like officially like a cannabis sommelier because he took a class in the West Coast about cannabis, and it's like, yo, like you wanna like on one hand the society as a whole demonize us for loving this plant, and then like turn around and then on another coast somebody could be like giving their masters in cannabisology, like you know, like
right.
so
No,
like yeah.
absolutely. It's like it's like progression on that type of scale, you know, like with, or that topic anyway, you know, cannabis reform.
Yeah.
We're still in the Stone Ages out here. You know, it's like
Uh-huh. Yeah.
oof,
Yep. Yep.
it's kind of hard to imagine it. I mean, down in the city, I imagine, like you said, there's a lot of places out there that are actually licensed. Again, there's not many that at least have a place open that they can go. You can go get it from. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There might be
And even in the
farms
city it's
everywhere because
tricky.
there's always a need
Yeah.
for no, you know, New York. So
Growing it. Yeah.
it's it's kind of hard to. I remember I've gone out west and the delivery services out there are, you know, Unbeatable. Unbeatable.
Yo, I never forget, like, just going to California my first time and going from like, oh shit, let me call my bud man so you can meet me here, to walking in a store and like someone just telling you about the weed as if like a cop is about to just jump out there and got you, motherfucker. Like,
Right, right. Yeah, it free eights Fridays or whatever. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
what the fuck? Oh my god. Like, and
Eyes
that's
popping
why I
out my
always love
head.
cannabis, like learning like cannabis, some of cannabis people are some of the most creative, like.
Oh, you've got to be. If you want to see something different, it's within reason that you can do that. Well, yeah, within reason you can do that. You know, if you're trying to customize something, make something you think might be crazy, it's art. If you look at their like that perspective, it's pretty wild. Yeah, you might come up with something stringy and nasty for a year or two, but you can really refine whatever your vision is. And there's not really that many plants that you can enjoy as much as you can with cannabis. That you can also, yeah, you can keep going. A hanging willow bloom. I just made that name up. I don't fucking know.
Mhm.
Like you can keep them things going, clip them off. Oh, I got these. I found the best leaves off of this, and I cloned this one. But cannabis, you're enjoying that every time you keep it going. You know, and it keeps on giving.
And I think about just like when I was young, and one of the reasons I really did get into cannabis, funny enough, it was like cannabis. Like, I love when life validates me in moments. And I was walking down the street one day, and I was just talking to my sibling, just going on about like future and life, and
Mhm.
like wanting to just do things and make an impact. And I found this book called The Emperor's New Clothes, or The Emperor's New Clothes. It was a Jack Harrer book,
Okay.
and it's like, hold on, I have it. Give me 1 second, because I want to actually show you this book.
All right.
This motherfucker right here. This motherfucker right here.
Okay.
It's called The Emperor Wears No Clothes. And it's like, first of all, it's written by Jack Harrer. And like, we've all smoked Jack Harrer and like, didn't understand who this person was. But like, this person wrote a whole book that like details like news articles of like the greatness of hemp, and then details actual like a college textbook worth of information where he cites all of his sources and all of the stuff, the
Oh
history of
shit.
hemp, how they loved hemp and then they hated hemp. They even like explained that whole like you would smoke weed until you die, and then the whole monkey, like the whole gas mask. The reason why they thought like we would get brain damage was because they fucking gas masked monkeys. Like,
Jeez.
and then they used that as like excuses for like why, like he just like dictate. And I just found this book. I was walking on the street, and I just found this book, and I was like, this just validates everything that I was thinking. Like
Oh, I'm just
somebody,
gonna find that book too.
like, it's crazy. And I found it not once, but twice. I found it, I lost it, and I found it again.
Same
And I was
book
like,
or
this
different
means,
book?
nope, this exact same
Oh,
book.
okay, okay. I was gonna
And
say
I
if it was a
found it, I
different book,
gave
that's
it to
crazy.
someone to borrow it. No, 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 not, it's a different book, but same, like, it's not the
Oh,
same
okay, yeah,
exact copy,
yeah.
but
That's
like
that's
a
nuts.
different book, but like the same exact copy of the book.
Right.
Like, I was like, nope, me and cannabis, this is it. When life gives you what you need to do, what you gotta do, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Meant to be is meant to be, brother. Jeez.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you've ever done, like had seen at one of these events or shows at all that you, or really any show, it could be even like a music festival solely, that just doesn't work? Like is planning it, offering it as like a service with that planning or anything like that, that's just like, oh, damn, that bombed. I got to stay away from that next time, or.
Um. Well, yeah. The best thing I would say is like anything that is too far in ahead, because we're stoners and we forget. Like,
Right.
oh my gosh, like, or like anything that is too wordy, because stoners are like, Oh, this is valuable information. Oh, I'm gonna read that later. I'm definitely gonna come back to this. This is important, and
Show up
then
2
they
hours
don't
later.
remember. Yeah.
Jeez.
Just like really getting to understand the customer base of like stoners, and not saying all stoners have short-term memory loss. Some of us are really good at like staying on top of what we do,
Right.
but like, uh, that was really it. But I don't know. I don't really know because like sometimes when I think something doesn't work, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't work, and then it works, and it just works. Like it didn't work the first time, it didn't work the second time. I didn't even mean to do it the third time. I kind of just did it out of habit at that point, and then it worked. And I was like, wait. And then the opposite, where like I'm like, all right, I did all the research. This is supposed to work. It worked everywhere else, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. You
Right.
know, like
Yeah. I hear
it
you.
just didn't work that day.
What's the next event you're going to?
The next event I'm going to is 8/24, the New York Cannabis Awards Music Festival in Clintondale. We are back for the second year. So that one is going to be my next one. Technically, there's one in Arizona next weekend, but I'll be here, so I'm just going to be assisting remotely. Um,
Do you have to
but other
defend
than that,
your crown at all? Your trophy for the best brand
oh
ambassador, or do they? Is it just like a
no,
yearly,
this
two
year,
yearly
this
thing?
so funny enough, this year I didn't run for best brand ambassador.
Oh, you have to run for
Um,
it?
Yeah, you got it's crowd choice. It's crowd chosen.
Oh shit.
So like the one with the most votes win. Um, it's more like a community based thing to like drive the community to bring out the votes and like have people be celebrated by the community.
I don't know.
Um, and so this year I wanted to run for best cannabis influencer. But then I ran unopposed, and they don't like just give awards to people who run by themselves. So they
There
eliminated
wasn't
that
one.
award. So
Oh damn.
I let somebody else get best brand ambassador this year, and next year I'll run for something good. But like, um, I was surprised I won, but I wasn't at the same time.
Hmm.
I was surprised I won because like, no lie, this has been the first award I've won in a long time.
Oh, that's
Like
the
I do a
trophy.
lot of events and a lot of
Oh
yep,
yeah.
it's my baby.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Um, and like for a long time, I just did it because I don't really do things for the recognition of it. I do things for the necessity and like just the fact that like I fucking want to do it, and now it's done because of me. You know what I'm saying? That's really just
Totally.
how I like live life. Like it didn't happen. I wanted to do it. I made it happen. It's done. It exists now. That's it. Like, and so when we had a chance, when the awards was happening, honestly, my biggest trophy wasn't even that. It was the fact that like I went to Vegas and found these people and was like, yo, we need to do this in New York, and then we did it in New York, and then I got to host it. Like that for me is the biggest trophy of that whole thing. Like I was like, no, this thing is like, and like I had to fight friends and lose friends over that journey of
Shit.
like seeing that vision and being like, nah, bro, do you not see they throwing whole cannabis festivals over there? We need this here. And people are like, no, he's not playing. I'm like, no, we need this there. And I did what I needed to do. And I connected with Sheldon, and I was like, yo, we need to do this. And then it just happened that the owner of the farm that we do it at Minyard's Family Farm,
Mhm.
he also got connected with Sheldon. And then that was also the year that they allowed um, grower showcases because they don't allow those this year. Fuck up. And we 60 days we had to throw a festival, and we threw a festival in 60 days.
Damn.
Like, and then I won an award. Like, and then like, like, and I hosted it with Redman. Like I was is
So like Red
just
Man, like Meth Man, Red Man, like
yeah, yeah,
damn,
yeah.
dude, that's cool as hell. That's
Yeah, he had
cool
to
as
present me
hell.
my award. He thought I was cheating because I won the award and I was right next to him. It was funny.
Shit,
It was fucking hilarious.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
when I was like, I don't think I know any other Red Man. I was like, that's got to be the only.
Nope.
Like, yeah,
Yep.
awesome, man. That's like so. I met Rob Zombie one time. I thought that was pretty sweet. That must feel
Yeah,
pretty good.
like it feels like again, like it sucks, but at the same time, it feels so rewarding because I spent so much of my life trying to help other people. I didn't
Right.
want to be the rapper. I wanted to help the rapper. I wanted to be the businessman to put you on. I didn't want to be Mr. in front of the camera. I wanted to be Mr. Get you a camera to be in front of. But like in fighting other people for that, I ended up becoming that. Like, I ended
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
because I was the one like doing it all the time anyway. So like I became that, and then like to have it all culminate at the festival that became like because we only had 1 year to do it. We in their history was the first cannabis awards music festival to have legal cannabis sales. Um, we had over 200 cannabis products on sale. Like did like I swear like I I can't know by the end of the year. I don't know how many events, but like it has been one of the top five biggest cannabis events, like with legal cannabis sales in New York State. Like in the year that they let us do it, like, and I got to rap, and I don't even rap. Like I don't have not a single song out there. I've just been a freestyle rapper since I was in the fourth grade, and I like rap, and so I've been rapping because I like being challenged by words, not because I wanted to be a rapper. And I like ever since I started being a manager, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get you on a festival. I'm gonna get you on a festival. We're gonna work at it. And so many people fell out the way, but I like, and so like I literally had a friend that showed up that day that's also a freestyle rapper, and I got to put him on stage on the set with me because like it was
Oh, that's
my
cool.
set and I could do whatever I wanted. And he got to perform at a fucking festival and freestyle in front of Redman. And he's like, "Yo, dude, thank you so much." And I'm like, "Bro, like you don't even have to, this is just what I this is what I wanted to be this whole time. This is what I wanted to be this whole time." like,
Yeah. No,
like,
that's pretty cool, man. That's a nice gift that you were able to give him as well. I think
yeah,
that's cool. Like the cannabis, the whole thing, that's great as well. But I think being able to be with Redman and like music and the the lyrics, like you said, is a gift to you too. That's pretty cool. Maybe.
yeah, it was fucking yeah. That's my most special moment in cannabis and music. And then the most fun one had to be the Homegrowers Championship. Like I can't wait till we pack that bitch out, man. Oh man, I'm
Oh,
have the whole
it's
crowd
gonna
jumping.
be bigger next year.
Yeah.
We're talking big. So, do you do any like mentoring for anybody coming up, like trying to do what you're doing, or you've seen anybody else that's like approached you? Because I mean,
Um,
man, you're
not in
good at what
any.
you do. So,
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not in any 100% official capacity, but I always do. Like one of the biggest proponents of who I am as a person is education, both for my education and for educating other people. So like I've been a tutor since like the sixth, seventh grade. One of my day jobs was working with kids. I also
you're a
like
teacher and you smoke
off and
marijuana.
on
Oh my.
do yep, I'm a paraprofessional, super paraprofessional. I also like have done like internships. Um and just like whenever anybody comes to me and asks me, yo, how can I be better? I have no qualms in sharing. Cause like it's always funny to me. It's always been funny to me that like so many people have gatekept certain things, and not saying that certain things shouldn't be protected because you earned it, right? Not saying that should like don't like have discernment,
Right.
right? But like so many things have been gatekept for no reason other than like I don't want this person to like outshadow me or outshine or ruin me. And like they can't ruin what's for you. Like no matter how much like nobody could be me. Like you feel me? Like I had to learn that and got comfortable in that. Like and thank you for recognizing me, seeing me just being me. Because like there was a time and so many other people go through that time where they're like, oh, what am I gonna be? Who am I gonna like get all the
Hmm.
nervousness because you gotta put on a but then when you get comfortable with just being you in your space and whatever you define your spaces to be. And like, yes, it's hard. It's not something like you are defining a part of you to the world and to yourself. And like, it is hard to do that in a world that like tells you what you need to be most of the time. So like, yeah, it's not easy, but like once you get into it and you get comfortable and you spend the time like any other craft, like you get good at it. And so like no I can make somebody the best them, but I can't make them the best me.
Right.
Like
Yeah. For sure.
Like,
Yeah, I hear you there. It's and
so I'm just going to
exactly
be the
what
best me.
I really try to stand for, you know, is like that education through communications. Like you got to learn it, you know. It's gotta you
Uh-huh.
got to take it in. You can't really just carbon copy somebody, but you know that you're a blueprint in my eyes. Just
Yeah.
like with everybody else that I've talked to, you know, like business owners in the space, regular home growers in the space, like up people who are about to get their license and things
The
like that,
license. Yeah.
and just seeing every one of them say the same thing. You know, if someone asks me about how to do this or what they're doing, I'm definitely like helping them out, but they're proof that it takes work. You know, it takes that actual absorbing of that knowledge that you're at least being shown or taught.
Hmm.
So it's and I think it ultimately pushes everybody else, like your own progression for sharing
Hmm.
something like that. Because then it's, what if someone called you 2 years from now and you needed, like, I need you and three other people, need you
Yeah.
and three other, you know, like, oh well, I know three people that I just worked with or talked
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
over the year. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's networking, like you said, you know, and
Uh-huh.
it
It's
all goes
everything,
hand
man.
in hand with it. And I think trying to network this stigma and show everybody that it's just really a whole bunch of different fucking people doing different things, and at the
Uh-huh.
end of the day, good people not hurting anybody, involved with education, concerned with, you know, well-being, and concerned with
Hmm.
educating others around them that want to learn it. It's not being pushed where no one's out there like we said, trench coating it and say, you want to buy an eighth, man. You know, it's, yeah, I think that's been on Sesame Street more often than I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever
That's
seen
wicked.
that
Yep.
shit before in my life before Sesame Street. A Muppet. Hey man, you want to buy eights?
But
Dude, it's insane. And demonizing people who, you know, you can call legacy. I mean, I've been in the space in one way or another, probably about 20 something years, growing from like
hmm.
very small closet grows back as a kid up to, you know, rooms and tents now. All within legal limit, Hokel.
Uh-huh.
All within legal limit. And
Chill out. Chill out,
yeah,
Uncle.
chill out. Keep the OCM at home. It's
For real.
it's refreshing to see that, you know, I thought I was going to be able to go and talk to a few people that are growing at home that might have a voice like mine, but I'm finding all of these people that are, and you, that are more open in talking about this, even though it's legal. Yes, it's still got the stigma and faces are still out there, and everybody
Uh-huh.
knows that. And the fact that faces, I haven't had one person yet say I don't want to be on camera. It's like, okay, I haven't had one, you know. So it's
Yeah.
it's like, except for this media guy I got here who's sitting here who doesn't like to be on camera. But
Oh, yeah.
it's,
It'll always be a media guy.
yeah, it's refreshing. It makes me feel every time I get on. I'd not lie to you and say I'm not nervous when I get on. It's a brand new person that I've said hardly anything. Typically, honestly, that 2 minutes me and you talked and hung out at the show was probably longer than I've talked and hung out with any of the other people that I've had
The
on the
people,
show. You
yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
mean, I know like Justin and all of them on a personal level, so I've seen them, had them on the show and everything from the
Yeah.
council there, but it's different with everybody else. I'm just emailing them for the most part. So I actually was able
Okay,
to
okay.
see you beforehand. So even with that, you know, it's nerve-wracking. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I feel better when I get done talking about it because I don't mind posting it out there for somebody else to watch it. And again, maybe they find you, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they just find me rant and rave. Sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
babble a lot and don't make any sense, and sometimes I'm calm like this. So it's like a hit or miss. But I think that, you know, all in all, people get a little bit out of this, and
Uh-huh.
I appreciate everybody that comes on. So do you travel back home at all? I mean, you were saying like
So
under an umbrella during a hurricane. Was that like Sandy you're talking up here in New York? Is
that
that,
was in New York. I wasn't Sandy. I can't remember which hurricane it was. Like Alma or something like that. It was like 2012 when that happened. But I don't get to travel home as much. I went back in 2019, but I do want to go back. I actually would like have a whole lot of initiative for like trying to make cannabis like a legal thing there in a way that like benefits the people. So like I'm trying to turn it into a nice cannabis vacation destination, you
so it's
know,
not legal there?
because it just became legal to for medicinal, and I think the country just did its first export or second, the first set of exports to Canada. So they're slowly accepting it, but like post-colonialism religion has a grip on
Yeah.
small island nations, and so like the demonizing of cannabis was a big part of like the culture for a long time. And so like to see it shift here gives me hope of like wanting to push it to really shift it there. But like I really want to shift it in a positive way that benefits the people, as learning from New York and
Right.
other places what happens when you legalize and not take into account the people and the way in which people like to take advantage of situations.
Right.
Um, because, yeah, New York has taught me so much in watching this whole OCM debacle unfold. And, like, you know, politicians are going to politic, man.
Yeah.
They
No,
go, at this point, like, it doesn't bother me that politicians politic. It bothers me that people expect politicians not to
I can't
politic.
believe they didn't have it done. Like, what do you,
Like,
yeah, like, what do you expect? Dude made it
bro,
illegal on his way out.
yeah,
Dude
like,
just like, I'm out of here. This shit's legal. Bye.
yeah,
So he did. It's like, that's what I'll always remember him by. It's like, holy
uh-huh.
shit, dude, you just cut and run. It's like, pissed them all off. God.
I remember he also like went on the heels of his whole scandal with him and his brother and during the COVID stuff.
Yeah,
So
he
he's
was
just
like
like,
paying for books off of money, like from the government
yeah,
and everything
some
too.
wild shit, some kind of again politics,
Yeah,
politicians,
right.
politics, man. Like
Writing
you
it
can't
off.
expect like in a country where it is literally legal to give money to a politician to do what you want, even though it's illegal to take bribes, but you can build super PACs. So you can't take a bribe, but you can take millions of dollars of a bribe. That's better somehow. Like somehow,
How
like
big is
I
it?
can't
Oh,
pay
okay.
you,
All right.
but
Yes,
like
yes.
if we all got together and paid you, now that would be legal.
Can't throw us
Like
all in jail.
somehow.
They
But
wouldn't dare.
somehow, like in a world where this happens, like why do we expect anything else? Why do we expect if like it is legal for corporations to spend millions of dollars on political campaigns to get what they want? Why would they not get what they want? Why would they not like? So instead of like being upset about it at this point, I watch it, I take notes, and I'm like, okay, this is how you want to play this game. I gotta educate my people so that we don't fall for this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that was really my thing for this. Like, I when this whole legalization happened, I like was one of the first, at least in my community, like screaming from the rooftops, bro, we gotta get on this. Like, they're gonna fuck it up, so get your ducks in a row. Get your ducks in a row because like we're nickel and diming each other, arguing over this street, this block, who got the best strain. And like this is our community. This is our New York State. This is our time in
You can
history.
offer
Like
options and yeah, it's like
if
everybody
nothing
can do
else,
it.
this is our time in history. We just happened to be born when they asked the question, what to do with legalization? And why not get a chance to have a say in it? Versus like if you know this is New York State, you know corporations are gonna come down and they're gonna try to mech it up. They're gonna try to profit from it. They're gonna corporatize it. They're going to. They're going. We can't. This is the Empire State. We can't fight it. but we get a chance to maneuver it. We get a chance to carve a pocket in it. We get a chance to like make things happen in a time in history when things are happening.
Yeah.
So why not? Like, why not? Why do we want to watch this go by? Like, why?
No,
Like,
absolutely not.
and
Absolutely
so
not.
like I was really big on like, yo, and not just like parroting what the OCM is saying, but also realizing again they're politicians. So while they say they're going to do this, watch how the ink is drying. Watch how the fact that they say, oh, we're going to legalize cannabis, but don't provide an infrastructure for the businesses to be created. And so the only people that can get licenses aren't cannabis people, are business people. Because you needed to have a business that was running for a year and X amount of money. But like the regular cannabis person isn't thinking like that because their heads are in the plant.
Yeah.
Like
They couldn't have a business. It was illegal.
yeah, what do you mean?
It's like
And
that
so
where
like
they try to get you to go and get your free Super Bowl tickets. They're like, yeah, come on in. Anyone
mhm.
who's been doing it, just
oh,
come on in. We're going to get you. Fucking A.
oh. And so like to be able to see the bullshit, call the bullshit, and like help the people that's really serious in doing this, and like we get a chance to make history. That's how I really just see it. Like it sucks. Life sucks with all the bullshit they throw at us. But at least we also get a chance to do something. At least we also get a chance while it sucks. It could suck and we get a chance to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was like 10 years ago. It sucked and we couldn't do nothing about it. Like,
Yeah, no, like you said, hiding in alleys, hiding in
yeah.
back lots around here.
Uh-huh.
It's come a long way. It's it's gonna be interesting to see with the new micro business license that New York offers. I don't know, is that an option down in the city? I know sometimes there's like
Yeah.
different
Yeah. It's,
laws.
it's, it's an option across all the state.
So
Um,
it's
the
relatively
problem here
cheap
we have,
though.
yeah, like it's relatively cheap. And so the micro business, that was the one I was looking at from the onset release
Hmm.
of it all. Um, and yeah, it is relatively cheap compared to like all the other
Full
nonsense they
blown.
threw out there. Yeah,
I mean, there's still
fuck it.
expenses. You're going to have something up to par, their code, what
Yeah,
have you. But it's
but the biggest problem we had here in the city was, well, it was a two-front system of licensing being promoted but not rolled out properly. And so that led to a lot of preparation for a market that didn't exist, over preparation. And so that led to exploitation. So like real estate companies was like, you needed to have a license, you needed a location that the license was tied to. But like if you want a landlord in New York, where the fuck you getting that from? And then landlords in New York was like, oh, we're already charging out the fucking ass for rent. You come in here with cannabis, we want 6 times as much.
right.
And so like exploitation happened. And who could afford that? The people with money, not the people in cannabis, because they couldn't make no fucking money. The people with money came in and bought up all the real estate. And now you had a whole bunch. And then the second side is no one was having actual enforcement. It was a state mandated thing. The city can't regulate it because it's state mandated. But like there's also bad optics where you legalize weed and then arrest people for selling weed. So then you just have a bunch of illegal weed shops
Right.
because like if I own a location and like am low enough, I'm gonna sell some weed. Like, come on, let's be real. Like, if I got a location and like the cops didn't bust me yet, I'm gonna go sell some weed. Like, that's what people do. Like,
Yeah, no,
and
for
so
sure. I mean, you'd go through your head immediately.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so people they opened up this weed is legal, but had no infrastructure for legal weed. And so a bunch of weed spaces got filled with people selling weed out of just random shops. Like everybody that was selling weed on the low was just buying stores to fill with weed. And then one would get shut down and somebody opened another LLC, like, and it'd
Right.
be up again running. And like the city doesn't have the infrastructure to like be raiding weed shops every week. But like also that looks real bad on the optics of like raiding weed shops every week after legalizing weed. So like
It's the Wild West out this way. We've got
Yo,
with the legal dispensary. I say legal. I mean,
yeah,
we have native owned properties here that are completely legal in the sense that
yeah,
it's
in the
sovereign.
sense of like, yeah,
So, but it's you see busts on places just like that nonstop. Not the natives, but the other places. So, like you said,
uh-huh,
even the low ones. You know, you if you had a shop that was like a convenience store that was like
uh-huh.
here on downtown Strip or something. You know, you'd sling a little bit out of there. Like those are the ones they're hitting. And I guess if they label it now, you get charged per day that you are open or not
Yep,
open,
open, yep, yep,
and
yep,
it's
yep,
you have to get it fixed or like closed completely or something,
uh-huh.
and then you have to keep that on your window or some shit
Yep, yep, yep,
forever.
yeah. That's what they. Yep, yep. That's what they're doing, and like that's the double-edged sword of it all. Because like I was trying to tell people like don't get into this shit because they're gonna fuck you. That's how, like people forget like this going federal, this going legal means we're not just dealing with like the cops busting you no more. You got to deal with long game traps. Like they're letting you hang yourself because you're building a case against yourself when you're operating illegally, thinking you're making money.
Right.
Because they're just gonna fuck like all the dollars you done made. You forget the IRS can count all of them and come back and ask for them. Like they could be like, hey, like even if they don't get you with nothing else, you know what the first thing they could catch you with? Because they got Al Capone with it, tax
Yep.
evasion.
Every time. You're no one's doing their taxes right ever. They'll
I've
find
been that is
something.
one. Yo, they'll find something to get you. They will. And like, I just want people to be smarter. I want people to be well equipped. I want people to be thinking about all these things as we navigate this Wild West space because this is our time. It's our time. And we get to be smarter than that. Get to be. We get to be, you know. We
Yeah.
get to stick our heads together. People get to watch this video and take this to whatever they doing and be like, yeah, we should do that, you know. And that's really what I really hope that if anybody remembers me in the cannabis space is pushing it forward that like we gotta take advantage of this now. We gotta take advantage of it smart. We gotta work together because the enemy is not the next man that's selling the next weed. I don't care if your shit grow better than mine or not better
Right.
than mine or smoke better than mine. The fact that we get to both grow and sell in a market is what the fuck is a win for me. You
Craft
know,
butteries,
like,
dude. Craft butteries. That's what they should be.
uh-huh.
Damn. Come up with some
We'll
good
get there.
names.
We will. We
We're
will
gonna
get
get
there.
there.
We will get there.
Um,
And like
so
we get to steer this boat. We get to be a part of this journey. And yeah, man, it's our time. We was born now, and so we get to be here.
yeah. Would you ever consider doing like a group discussion, not necessarily like about any one person, but the actual space and
Yeah,
just just
I'm
going over
open down for
ideas
all.
and things like that to try and to
Uh-huh.
further this type of mindset or this type of acknowledgement of just regular ass people. And
Uh-huh.
we should really be helping everybody instead of just thinking about our own ass, our own shit
Uh-huh.
being, like you said, growing better than the next. So I'll leave it at that because I think that's something that I'm going to be looking forward to once I start dropping season 2 of this podcast. It's going to be more of that group discussion, sit downs, upwards like 5 to 8 people. I think 10 would kill everybody's battery. All these things switching back and forth, but yeah, no, I appreciate you taking the time. I apologize for my internet going out. Um,
Nah, it's
it'll
settled up. Everything seems smooth now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's always a
I
pleasure.
enjoyed the
I
conversation.
do send me the details for your show in August. Um,
Okay.
if I have the availability, I'd like to get a ticket and come down and check it out. So I think that'd be a fun
Okay,
time.
yeah. I'll
So
definitely send it over to you. Yeah.
yeah, that I think that'd
It's
be
gonna be a
cool.
good time. It's another time to celebrate cannabis. It's another time to just enjoy the moment, man.
Yeah,
Enjoy the moments that we get. So yeah. Appreciate you for having me on. This is a great conversation.
no, I appreciate you. We'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, man.
All right, man.
See. You.
Later.